Hi guys, so here in this video I will show you one of my typical leg days I do, and I just film this content, and if you wait for the end of the video then you will see a posing video of my legs as well. So here in the beginning I was doing some a deduction movement or adduction movement of to just get some of those inner thighs, rolling. I have begun to do this at squats, but this machine can be very much occupied. So when I saw it was free, then I just took my chance and took that in the beginning. And just adding on a little bit more weight. So I start very light, and this is kilograms because this is in Denmark. So I think I start with like 150 kilograms. Then I put like actually 80 kilograms more on, so that will be 230 kilograms. And yeah, then I just pile on. So it is actually quite a big step I take on my leg press. This machine does not allow extremely good range of motion, which is not ideal. But this is the only leg press machine they have here in Belgium where I am training. I do like the machine because it feels nice. It feels very good when you're doing the leg press. It has a nice angle, but there's not much variety you can do on it. But it does feel nice, and I do feel the firing in my quads as well. It's just not the biggest range of motion you can get in it. And now the most important set, and there is a big reason why I actually recorded this. First of all, to just get some filling in there in the video, but also just because it is very important to put the weights back where you found them. It is so annoying with people that is quite strong, then they will just fill up the whole machine with so many weights, and then there comes like a 40-kilogram girl who needs to use the machine, and there's just all of these weights on it. And I know a lot of people actually just put a little bit weight on it, and they think, oh, everybody is doing this weight. But I just think that we need to realize that not everybody does this kind of weight, and it can be very heavy for a beginner. So we need to put the weights back because we put them on. Okay, now for some squats. I am doing this squat movement in a machine. It is called the perfect squat, this machine. It allows some great range of motion, which is quite nice. It feels great for the knees. And yeah, it's overall just a nice movement, I think. I have done my share of 3-bar squats. I've done it with 200 kilograms before. And it was very nice to get that movement in, and it is a very nice movement to make. But I think some machines are just so nice and offer so much stability and just offer the movement so much more. So why not use the machines when they're there? And if it's good machines, I really like this machine. And just adjusting the knee sleeves. And a thing I actually do on this squat, as I didn't do in the first set, but I do it now. I forgot in the first set. It is because I actually stand a little bit wider, so my adductors need to do a little bit more stability work, so they are more incorporated in this exercise. For a long time I just make it very quad dominant, where I just stood very narrow and just did fired up the quads. But now where I do think my adductors are a little bit slight and I need to make them come up a little bit, then just stand a little bit wider, doing like a little bit more sumo squat style, you know. And I just come down to about 90 degrees when it gets heavy. I try to get a little bit below 90 degrees when it's not that heavy. But because of my knees, with that working, with the damaged knees I have, then I'd like it to be just around 90 degrees. So since I was already at this rack, I could also just do some standing calf raises. This rack is very good for that as well. So I just took the knee sleeves down and I just did some calf raises. I actually usually start with doing my calves as well, because my calves is not one of my strong points. So I want to hit my weak points in the beginning of the workout. But at this particular workout I just did it later actually. And as you can see, I come very far down because I want the stretch in the calves and also in the tibialis muscles. And then I get all the way up, go all the way up. I'll just show a side picture now. I think it's very important to go all the way down and get the good stretch, you know. And here's a second calf exercise. It is also just like a standing calf raise, just with a little bit of variety. The reason why I do this is because they do not have a seated calf raise in my gym apparently, and that is just very annoying. I do like the seated calf raise, so we can target the soleus muscle a little bit more. Here again you can see how the machine works. It's just like that, and I want to go all the way up and as far down and stretch as I really can. And when I am doing leg day, I always do a leg curl exercise where I hit a certain type of my hamstring muscles. But we also need a hip hinge exercise because it attaches up at the hip, up at the lower part of the upper part of the leg and the lower part of the glute, you know. So I also want to do a hip hinge exercise as well to get as much hamstrings as possible. That's very important. And you can do this exercise like this with dumbbells. You can do it. It's just like a Romanian deadlift or stiff leg deadlift. I actually can't remember the difference. But you can just do it with dumbbells. You can do it with just a free bar, a barbell, or you can do it on a hyperextension machine where you just take some weights and just go down and up. A lot of people are using that hyperextension machine for lower back, but you can also use it for these a little bit first. And here you can see me posing a little bit in the mirror, but you can see my legs. They're not that tiny as it looks with pants on. And the last step is, of course, getting some protein down, or just a meal or a protein shake